Ooh, it worked. Can I rotate this? Nope. Alright. Let's see if people come in. Hello everyone. Wow, okay. It went from 0 to 50 something, 100 people, real quick. Can you all hear me? Is the audio okay? Hi everyone. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. I am sorry for the delay. But yeah, can you hear me? Let me, tell me that, like, you can hear me if, you can. Okay, cool. Alright, thank you, Leo. Sweet, hi everyone. So good to see you all. Sorry about the delay. The YouTube live stream experience is not great. So I just had a little bit of technical difficulty again, unfortunately. I know last month, 2 months ago now, I was trying to do it and it didn't work so well. So, cool. Alright, so I would love to know where you all are tuning in from. Let me know your name and where you're based. And yeah, wow, 436 people already. That's incredible. Thank you so much. I don't have a whole like agenda or anything necessarily for what I want to talk about, but I'll just kind of generally take any questions and we can just hang out. I know there's been a lot of new subscribers. Wow, okay. I just hit 50K, so I guess this is the 50K stream. Woohoo! So yeah, I'd like to just get to know you all and we can all just hang out and have a fun time. So let me catch up. This chat is streaming so quickly. Alright. From Bali, Italy, Sweden, Tunisia, Canada, Portugal, Texas, India, Peru, India, Germany, Canada, Boston, Cleveland. Wow, this is such an international group. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. Taipei, who's from Iowa. SoCal, yeah, SoCal, good rep. Sweet. Incredible. Yeah, this is live right now. Oh my gosh. Alright, I have to like scroll down. Wow, thank you so much all for joining. Sweet, so yeah, oh gosh, okay. Alright, so how about I start taking questions and we can just all hang out together. I might be munching on something. I woke up like an hour ago and I'm still kind of eating breakfast. And I've just got my tea here, per usual. Today it's just black tea, or milk tea, I guess, milk black tea. Sweet. Ooh, there's a slower mode for chat. Let's see, how can I do that? I don't think there's a slower mode. Ooh. This is cool. Alright. Unfortunately, I wish I could turn it this way, but it says orientation is locked, rotate device back, so... Okay. Sweet. Oh, I stopped Netflix when I got a notification for your channel. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Is anyone watching Stranger Things? I started watching it last night because it got released, season 2, and it's so good. I have to stop myself from, like, binging it completely. So, all right. Wow. You finished Stranger Things 2 already? Dang, that is incredible. Oh my gosh, you all are intense. That's awesome. I mean, it's a very, very, very addicting show, so, makes sense. Cool. Sweet. I am slightly, like, overwhelmed and floored by how engaged you all are for my videos. So I just need to pick a question and start off. Alright, do I watch Rick and Morty by chance? I don't. I am not on that bandwagon. Do I need coffee to survive? I'm trying to do like 1 cup of coffee a day. It is hard to sometimes, especially when I'm like really need a crank or I'm really tired to go for 2, but anything over 2 get really jittery, so I don't. where do I do my questions? Just pop them in down here. I'm going to try my best to answer them. The chat is literally going at like this speed, so I'm trying to make sure that I can answer everyone's. Okay. I've gotten a lot of questions about Kotlin so far for Android development. I am an iOS engineer, and I'm aware that Kotlin is a thing. I don't know any Android engineers who are writing in Kotlin quite yet. I'm very interested to see like the difference between like Kotlin for Android and Swift for iOS. Swift is the new programming language for iOS that came out like 3 or 4 years ago now by Apple. Open source, super cool. It's like kind of the future of iOS development. And so there's been a lot of like stuff in the iOS community about Swift. So if you are coding in Kotlin, let me know, and let me know what you think about it in this chat. Swift is similar to Kotlin. Yeah, the syntax is like definitely like both Swift and Kotlin has simplified the syntax for Java and Objective-C a lot more and has really modernized it. So I'm pretty excited about that. And so, yeah. Cool. I've seen a couple that are like, how do I get started on iOS programming? I'm actually going to make a video about this very soon with my friend Hector, who's also an iOS engineer, and we're going to talk a little bit more about iOS development. But to get you started, for anyone who's really interested, I really highly recommend just kind of going to the Apple developer website and getting started on some of the basic tutorials that they have. I also recommend starting in Swift, then Objective-C right now, because all the tutorials you're going to find are going to be in Swift. That's kind of like the language that Apple is speaking nowadays. And from now on, like, Swift is just going to get bigger and bigger. And so I think, yeah, Swift, like, learn Swift. Some websites that I really, really like are raidwenderlich.com, RAYWENDERLICH.com. I'll actually post a link on my Twitter later on so that y'all can see. And yeah, I'll post a link on my Twitter so that, yeah, they have a bunch of iOS tutorials, like literally every type of iOS tutorial you could imagine. And so, yeah, I use it to like learn new iOS stuff all the time, and it's incredible. Cool. All right. What's my Twitter? My Twitter is helloMayuko. So I have brand alignment across all the different things. So yeah. All right. What am I currently working on? If that's something you could talk about. Yes. So I am working on an app called Patreon Lens. It's kind of, people have compared it as Snapchat or Instagram stories, but we're kind of making a Patreon-esque version of it, so I've been working on that, as well as working on some exciting things with the other Patreon app right now. So, see. Where did I learn all this stuff? Just everywhere. From college, from friends, from work. Let's see, what or who is your inspiration? My inspiration, there's a lot of different people that inspire me, and I guess like a lot of some of those people who inspire me include like Simone Yetch, Hannah Hart, and yeah, there's wonderful role models out there that I look up to, but I think the thing that motivates me the most is to like always be thinking about like kind of my purpose in life. I know it sounds cheesy, but I'm very good at making excuses for myself, and so I try to figure out what is it that I really want to do that's authentic to me and stick to it. It's a really hard question to answer. I feel like I've only started to form an answer to it this last year. And so, yeah, it's difficult, but that's what gets me up in the morning, to figure out what can I do to help people. To get a job as a software engineer, do you need to know everything about the programming language? No. I get a lot of like, what's the best programming language to learn to get a software engineering job? Know that you don't have to like know a programming language to get a job, especially if you're coming out of college, or even like if you're mid-career, if you are applying for another role. It's not so much the programming languages as it is like the architectures and frameworks that you should be familiar with. So like general like My friend Jarvis has talked about like back-end coding, like back-end engineering. You can write it in Ruby, you can write it in Python, you can write it in Java. The programming language is not as important as the actual patterns involved, and so don't stress too much on what programming language you should learn first. But to get started on a programming language, I would definitely do a lot of research into like what are companies hiring for right now, if that's kind of like your end goal of like getting hired at a company, and also, what is the language that appeals to you? What languages are well supported online? So when you do a Google search for like Python tutorial or Java tutorial, see what comes up. If there's a lot of results, it means there's a lot of support for it on the community, so you can debug your issues very easily. And so, yeah, that's kind of my question, or that's kind of my answer. Let's see. Wow, there are so many questions. Okay. All right, let's see. What's my favorite part about my job? I have a whole video on this, which I hope you've watched, called 6 Reasons Why I Love Being a Software Engineer, and those kind of outline exactly what those are. Particularly my job right now, the role that I'm in. I work at Patreon, a membership platform that helps creators get paid, and I'm very passionate about it because I really love YouTube. Obviously, I started a YouTube channel, but I've been really interested in like YouTubers and have watched YouTube since like the beginning of it in high school, and so being able to help those folks get the money, get paid for what they make, is something that really excites me. So, yeah. Is it too late to start learning programming when the bachelor program already started? No, it's not. If you're already in your 4 years of college, you've declared another major, you're thinking about maybe switching to computer science, but you can't, or, you don't know if you can, I think you can definitely take an intro to computer science class at your university and see how that goes. The intro to computer science or software engineering, or whatever the equivalent is at your university, is really well set up to be able to really introduce the computer science fundamentals really well and get you started and coding as soon as possible. So try that out and see what you think, and then also talk to the professor in that class and ask what are some good resources. How do I further this more without needing to declare an entire major around it? I had a friend in college who was an econ major, and then he got a job doing website development, and then he realized he really liked computer science, and so he did not quite switch over his major to computer science, but he took up a minor. But really what he did was just take like a bunch of computer science classes, and now he's a software engineer. So, yeah. By the way, thank you all so much for the love. This is incredible. I can't believe how many eyes are watching this right now, and I am floored by all of your support. So thank you so much. Do I play video games? I don't really. I'm a terrible video gamer. I'm very excited about video games, but I don't stay on for a very long time. So most recently, I think we bought the Nintendo Switch, and so I played Legends of Zelda for a good amount of time, and then I fell off because I was like, I have to be in the right mental mode and the right mental state to be able to play Zelda. And so, yeah, I haven't played in a long time because I made it too special of an event for me to just pick up and play. But love all the Pokemon games. I have a 3DS, and so playing Pokemon, playing any of the games there is fun. I'm not really a computer gamer, though. I don't play like League of Legends or StarCraft or any of those, unfortunately. I'm so happy when I found your channel when there aren't many female software engineers. Thank you so much. Let's see. How do you manage your time or stay organized? Ooh, this is the thing that I'm constantly trying to improve. One system that I've picked up recently to help me with this is bullet journaling. But kind of to take a step back before that, I think generally speaking, I'm really bad at keeping things up here, and so I try my best to just write it down. So I've tried using Notes, the Notes app on my computer, used Trello, used Evernote. I used a lot of different productivity things to make sure that whatever I'm thinking or whatever I'm trying to do is recorded somewhere. And I took up bullet journaling because of the freeformness of it, and because you don't have to subscribe to a system, and it's a system that you make. And especially with like work stuff and YouTube stuff and personal life stuff and also wedding planning, there's just a lot of different things that are kind of like swirling around that I need to do. So I took up bullet journaling after being inspired by fellow YouTuber Charlie Marie TV and also Matt Ragland, who have both shown the insides of their bullet journal and talked about how it works for them. So I picked it up and it's really great. Generally speaking, it's like you get to plan for like what you have done, what you're doing in the future, and what you're currently focused on. So great way to stay organized. Let's see. Hey Jarvis, yes, big fan of writing everything down. Yep. All right. Yeah, everyone's very excited to see Jarvis in the stream. Woohoo! Let's see. Do you think writing both iOS and Android apps from React Native will make Swift and Kotlin useless? What do you think of React Native? Ooh, React Native, hot topic. Yeah, React. So for those of you who don't know, React Native is a framework written by Facebook that allows you to write like one set of code, I guess, for lack of a better term, and to be able to like compile it and release it as as like an Android app and an iOS app. So you don't have to have like an Android developer and an iOS developer per se. You can just have like an engineer writing JavaScript, which is the language that React Native uses, to create two apps. So it's very efficient for those who need two apps, like an Android and iOS app, but maybe have limited, people to write them. But yeah, React Native is really interesting. I have not written a whole lot of React Native. I've done some like intro and like quick tutorial things. I don't think that it's going to dwarf iOS or Android development, like pure native development at all, because while React Native is becoming a very like popular and very stable framework, at the end of the day, like Facebook is not creating iPhones or making Xcode or writing the compiler or anything like that, and so yeah, I guess I can talk more from the iOS side, but because of that, React Native is a great way for people to get apps out there quickly and to like make best use of limited people writing their apps, but I think the really powerful stuff the really powerful stuff comes from writing native apps, as well as just like the fact that Apple can change something and Facebook has to kind of like react to the change in order to support it in their framework, makes it so that you can't really, well, it'll catch up eventually, but you have to wait a little bit for like new stuff to come out sometimes. Okay, wow. All right, I'm gonna take a sip of tea because I'm thirsty from talking so much. Oh my goodness, this chat is going so quickly. All right. Let's see. Yeah, the chat really is flying, isn't it? Ooh, okay. Oh, how old am I? I'm 25. I just turned 25 like a couple weeks ago. So that answers, I hope, like 5 questions. Do I use Vim or Emacs? I guess I use more Vim, but I don't really use either because I use Xcode. But when I do need some sort of like text editor, I use Atom. Let's see. Tabs or spaces? I use tabs, but it's whatever you want to use. Chat. Hey Andy, how's it going? Good to see you in here. Do I speak Japanese? I do speak Japanese. Does it matter where you get your degree from? I would say no in the grand scheme of things. I think where you get your degree from might help, if you were just to get a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, it might help for like when you're first graduating and getting a job. I know some companies are selective about the universities that they recruit from, and also because they get so many applications like from students, one deciding factor could be where you received your education. But I'm like starting to enter kind of like the mid-career stage of my career, and I'm noticing more and more that like I don't really care where you got your degree from. Like that doesn't really necessarily speak to how good of a developer you are. There's a lot of different things that make a good developer. That sounds like a video idea, which I should do. But just to kind of like speak off the cuff about what I think those things are, having good, solid foundational like expertise, and also sometimes mastery of like the tech stack that you're in. So if you're an iOS engineer, you should know kind of like the Apple frameworks, Objective-C, Swift, how to use Xcode really, really well. I think another mark that like differentiates a good engineer from others is being able to speak about what you're building really well too. And so like being able to teach other people what you're working on and how things work is an incredible mark of maturity for software engineers, I think. And also like I think the third one is being kind of like a good person to work with, being a good teammate, being kind of just like a good person, being collaborative, being open to feedback. Those things make working with other people really easy, and I think that's an incredibly important part about being a software engineer. Cool. Thanks, Aaron, for catching on and helping out with the live stream. I really appreciate it. It's really good to see people that I know in this live stream, so thank you all for joining. All right. Do I know any electrical engineers? I know a couple. My fiance actually studied electrical engineering, but he's a software engineer now, so cool. Do I use GitHub? Yes, I do. Yay. Let's see. Wow. By the way, how are all of your days, nights, mornings, wherever you are going? It's 10:57 a.m. on a Sunday here, and today it's actually kind of cloudy. It's been really hot recently, so I pulled out my sweater, and I feel like it's finally fall, right before Halloween, so feels good. Okay. I can make people moderators? How do I do that? Oh, cool. Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to add some people as moderators. Wow, thank you for the tip. Wonderful. Okay, let's go down to the bottom. Cool, 7:57 p.m. on Sunday, 16 o'clock, 7 p.m. Oh, so it's like nighttime where a lot of you all are. Cool. 3 a.m. at Tokyo. Wow, thank you so much for joining in from Tokyo. Arigatou gozaimasu. Wow, 700 people talking. It's like a TED Talk on here. I know. I feel a little underprepared. I did a live stream. I want to say it was like in August or September on Instagram Live. I was going to go live on YouTube, and YouTube live chat stuff was buggy and I couldn't go live. And so there's about like, I think 50 people in the chat at once. So going from 50 people to 650 at once is incredible. And now I empathize with all of the people who I watch live streams with, because this is very quick. Cool. Sweet. 12 a.m. Monday in India. Wow, thank you. All right. Thank you so much for the love. Any advice for starting a new graduate SRE job in a week? Still unsure what SRE is. I believe SRE stands for Site Reliability Engineer, and from what I know, you help with like DevOps and keeping the site running, so making sure that performance for the site is like good, making sure that things don't go down, instilling processes so that the site doesn't break. If any of you are SRE engineers, then I would love some help, and let us know what you do. Are there any electrical engineers in your office? No, there aren't. Do I work with them? No, unfortunately not. I know there are some companies, who like work with hardware. So I imagine like, companies like Apple that make iPhones and Apple TVs and watchOSs, there's electrical engineers that work there. But my company doesn't do any hardware or build any hardware things, so no electrical engineers, unfortunately. All right. Where did I go for uni? I went to University of California, San Diego, in sunny California. Cool. Do I have to graduate from computer science to be a developer? Can I, for example, learn from a website called Treehouse and have a job? Yeah, you don't have to have a degree to become a software engineer. Boot camps are another popular way for people to become and get software engineering jobs without needing to get a computer science degree. And so, yeah, I think I think you can definitely build the skills to become a software engineer just by looking at online stuff, if you're very like Google savvy and everything. But yeah, maybe a more difficult part of it is like convincing others that you can do the job well, and I think that comes from networking and working with other people who might be able to give you some jobs or give you connections and stuff, and kind of like vouch for you that like, yeah, this person can code really well. So yeah, I would say that like boot camps and colleges, like studying computer science university gives a lot of good structure for studying computer science and learning how to become a software engineer. And so yeah. How old was I when I started programming? I was 18, I want to say. Yeah, I was 18. So I'm not I'm not I coded since I was 10 or 14. So yeah. Yes, thank you, Erin. I do like to throw on my headphones a lot to concentrate. I listen to a lot of music to just like, we have an open office and so we don't have walls. And so whenever I need to like get in the mood, I'll usually have like a cup of coffee and headphones and just like groove. That's how I stay focused. But also, another bit of focus, or another like piece of advice for focusing, is making sure that I'm only focusing on one thing at a time. In order to focus on one thing at a time, kind of going back to what I said earlier about like taking all the things in my head and storing them somewhere else, has been really helpful, so that I have kind of like a structured like list in front of me that's tangible, so that I can actually focus on one thing at a time and get them done. If I have like 10 things to do and I'm thinking about them all at once, none of them gets done, and I get overwhelmed by that pretty easily. And so yeah, that's one way that helps. Cool. Wow, okay, sorry, I like accidentally opened up a thing. Wow, okay, I need to like actually straight up scroll. イギリスケンブリッジから見てます。こんにちは。How many hours a day do I have to code to be a good software engineer? That's up to you. Some people can code 2 hours a day and be a good software engineer. Some people code 14 hours a day to be a good software engineer. I think it's important to figure out what kind of software engineer you want to be, and set a goal and then plan out for yourself, what do I need to do to get there. For me, I typically code like anywhere from honestly 0 hours a day of coding, depending on what my day looks like, to like 6 hours a day in coding. So yeah, cool. All right, I've seen this question multiple times. Resources, offline or off? Get some tips on how to learn code. Resources, and which language should I use first? Depending on what kind of software engineering you want to do, if you're interested in mobile, back-end, front-end, the language will change there. Also, I realize that at the same time, you might not know what kind of technology you want to work on. Myself being an iOS engineer, I recommend starting on Swift. Apple has basically written Swift because, so one of the reasons why they invented Swift was to make it a lot more approachable and easier for people to learn code. If you have an iPad, actually, there's a cool app called Swift Playgrounds that kind of teaches you how to code in Swift, and that app is like solely there to teach people how to code. And so if you have an iPad, download that app. Otherwise, look up tutorials for Python, look up tutorials for JavaScript. I think those are kind of like the hot ones right now. And I recommend that. Cool. Any tips for being an intern? Yes, if you're going to be an intern, if you are trying to land an intern and you're going to start an internship, my biggest piece of advice is to don't be afraid to ask questions. Being an intern means that you're there to learn, and people don't necessarily expect you to get things like to start cranking on day 1 or even day 10. And so like you're kind of there to absorb information and then take that information and hopefully make something out of it. And so the more information you can absorb, the better. If you can't fix a bug and you've spent like 3 hours on it, don't be afraid to ask a software engineer there and help you out. It's much better for you to like, ask questions early and often than to like wait 2 days and be like, hey, I've been stuck on this bug for 2 days. And so, yeah, don't be afraid to do that. And have fun, too. Internships are a lot of fun. Make friends with, other interns. Make friends with other software engineers. Get to know the company really well. So, yeah. All right. Let's add some more moderators. Sweet. Okay. When did I move to the U.S.? All right, lots of questions about like where I grew up and stuff. So I was born in the United States and I've been living here most of my life. So I've only lived in Japan for like 2 years, and that was when I was really little. And so yeah, I'm American, and I've spent more time in the U.S. than Japan. But my parents are both Japanese, so I speak Japanese because they taught me Japanese. And yeah, cool. Sweet. Yes. +1, please don't ask creepy questions. I'm also not going to answer some questions related to some personal stuff because that's my personal life. But I'm happy to answer other questions as well. Oh, okay. So, Cayman asks, I want to study for a software engineer, but should I apply for computer systems and technologies or software and internet technologies major? I get a lot of questions about like what major should I be? Should I be computer science major? Should I be software engineering major? Should I be internet technologies major? And I know there's a lot of different permutations of tech majors. And my best advice for you, especially if you have already committed to going to a university or if you are at a university, is to go talk to the department head for like computer science software stuff. Each university has a very different curriculum for what they teach as part of their like different majors that they offer, and I highly recommend going to talk to them to see if they align with what you want to do. You can ask them questions like, oh, what companies do these people with these majors go to after they graduate? What do they do after they graduate? Like, what are some of the things that I'll learn? What is the coursework? Those are the kinds of questions that I would ask. I can't give you the answer, unfortunately. I can maybe give you the answer for if you go to UCSD. But, each university is very different, and they have different goals, and they have a different set of professors, different faculty heads, etc. So that's my biggest piece of advice for y'all. Yeah, UCSD. Is there anyone here who goes or went to UCSD? It's exciting. Hey, Hector, how's it going? Yeah, everyone, you should check out Hector. He does a live stream like 3 or 4 times a week, correct me if I'm wrong, to teach everyone how to do iOS development. And I've like peeked in a couple times. It's on Twitch, and it's super fun. I will also retweet his tweet for his live stream later, but if you all are interested in that, he's great. Oh, like 5 times a week, sorry. He's great at teaching iOS development, and he's incredible, so definitely check him out. What degree did I graduate with? I graduated with a computer science degree. Do I like hackathons? I've actually never done a hackathon before. Well, sort of. I've done like different like hack day type of things at companies, but I'm not sure that my definition of hackathon is kind of like you code a lot for like 2 days and then you present a thing. So yeah, I guess I have done a hackathon. They're fun. They help me to like really concentrate and get scrappy on making something, which feels good. Especially when like projects at work can take like weeks and months and stuff, like doing a hackathon and starting with an idea and building it within 1 or 2 days It's really fun. Also, the camaraderie that comes with it on building it with your friends is really fun as well. But I'm not someone who like actually goes out and seeks them, like hackathons. I really like taking my time, being thoughtful about what I'm making, and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's something I'll get into later. But yeah. Yeah, it's really difficult to ask questions. I'm really sorry for everyone who's like, who I haven't asked the questions to, but or who I haven't answered questions of. But this just tells me that I need to do more of these. Would you all be interested in like a monthly, like live stream hangout maybe? And also let me know if you prefer like YouTube live stream or Instagram live stream or anything like that. Yeah. Oh, cool. Sweet. Okay. People are saying yes. Awesome. That's cool. Yeah, I named this the October live stream because it's like the last couple of days of October. I didn't really know what else to call it. Cool. What's my word per minute typing speed? I think it's like 90 something last time I checked. Pretty fast. I credit that all to like instant messaging from when I was a teenager. So rest in peace AIM, but that's where I learned how to type. Cool. What do I think about Viper architecture? Yeah. I think it makes sense for specific code bases, but I think it's a little heavy-handed. If you need the Viper architecture, then use it if it's going to simplify the code that you're using, or the code that you're working with. But I more often use like model view controller type of stuff, which is like pretty straightforward. I'm going to look up the definition for the Viper architecture so that I can like describe it correctly for those of you who don't know what it is. I know it's common I know it's talked about in iOS, but I'm not sure if it's, yeah, okay, so it's an iOS thing. Let's see. Ooh, Objective-C.io, one of my favorite blogs. Let's see if I can figure out. It says Viper is an application of clean architecture to iOS apps. The word Viper is a backronym for View, Interactor, Presenter, Entity, and Routing. It divides an app's logical structure into distinct layers of responsibility, makes it easier to isolate dependencies and to test interactions at the boundaries between layers. Yep. And generally, I would say that like most architectures are there to like divide your app's logical structure into distinct layers, but Viper does a lot. Viper changes or divides up the layers even more. Okay. Do you think college was most difficult than your daily job? I think it was. This might change in the future, but I think I'm definitely more of like I want to like build stuff in industry and like work and stuff and give my skills to that more so than like really study a bunch of computer science things. So I definitely like working a lot more because I get to see that, you know, what I make gets used by real people and improves their lives. At the same time, people in academia for computer science are incredible, and they're, you know, making new discoveries and inventing new things every day. So that's cool. But yeah, college was really hard for me, and I didn't do it very well, to be honest. So cool. Thanks, Erin, for moderating. By the way, it's very, very helpful, and thank you so much. Okay. I'm a junior developer, need advice on task time estimation. Hey, this is something that, you know, I think everyone is like working at. I'm still working at it. Estimation, I think the first thing to know about estimation is that estimation is an art and not a science. Understand that it's like real people who are, you know, building things, and so things can come up, you know, different people have different speeds of like building stuff. But generally speaking, I think having a common language for estimation between your teammates is really important. Also, the other thing about like estimation should be more about complexity than it is about the time you would need to build something is also really important. And I think being able to track how well your estimations have been and using that knowledge to estimate future tasks is also a good way to do that. Cool. Do you recommend moving jobs every 1 to 2 or half years to boost salary in early years? Not really. I know there's a whole thing about like, you know, you should move, computer science and software engineers like change jobs every 1 to 2 years, which, I would say is like somewhat common, but it's not so much to like boost salary, although maybe that's some people's motives, as it is that, they want more opportunities and they want to learn something new. Because of the nature of software development, it moves super duper quickly. And so 1 to 2 years is like you get a lot done in 1 to 2 years. You also learn, a lot. But if salary is something that you're looking to boost, like why not interview at a bunch of places, and then like, negotiate there and see what's the best you can get. I'm more of like I'll move jobs when I don't feel like I can learn a lot, or I'm not as excited about like what the company's doing anymore. And right now I'm really happy with it. I feel like I'm going to stay at my company forever. So I thought I was also going to be someone who moves every 1 to 2 years, but it's really like, what do you want in life, and make decisions about your life based on that. So cool. You said in one of your videos that you did bachelor's in CS, but you say you're a software engineer. They aren't considered the same in my country. Interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, actually, from reading all of your comments, I didn't know that software engineering was like a major at some universities, and I'm curious to see if that's like, different major between different countries, or if there's like universities in America that have a BS in software engineering. I'm really curious. Like at my school, we didn't have a software engineering degree. Everyone went through computer science. We had like a bachelor's of art in computer science as well as like human computer interaction as a major. But yeah, I really want to learn more about that. So hey Joma, what's going on? I'm shooting a collab with Joma later today, so look out for that. Will this stream be on your channel later? I believe so. Yeah, I'll keep it up there. I'll maybe make a playlist for all of the live streams that I'll be doing. So, see. Where did all my chats go? Okay. So fast. So fast. What's the highest level of math you've taken? Shoot. Differential equations or vector calculus? Probably vector calculus. I don't remember any of it. I remember doing matrix calculations. Yeah. This is embarrassing. Okay. I have an idea for an app, but I don't know how to code. Should I spend my time learning how to code, or should I get someone to make for me? Depends on what you want to do. I know a lot of my answers are like, depends on what you want, depends on what you want to do. But really, like, if you have the time to, learn how to code what you want to do, then I highly recommend doing so. I think one of the best ways to learn how to code is to build something. Well, actually, I think it is the best way to code, because, I think of code as like a tool. And just looking at the tool and just studying the tool, like say you have a hammer, which is a tool, and you're like, I want to learn how to use a hammer. Like, what's the best way to learn how to hammer? And you could just like use the hammer and just like, learn how to hold it, just like make the motion of like hammering something. But the best way to learn how to use a hammer is to use that hammer in building something. So that's kind of how I think about code. Apologies for the bad analogy. But yeah, I think you'll learn a lot on about code for like what you need to know to learn an app, or what you need to learn to build an app. And so if that's something you're interested in, then do it. I also think like building with another person is really fun. Kind of for the same reasons that you might like work out with another person. You get to motivate each other. You get to be each other's support system. You can help each other learn stuff. And so yeah, I think that's really fun. But yeah, if you have some friends who can help you get started, that's also another way of doing so. Cool. What would I be if I didn't go to computer science? Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe I think maybe a teacher. Yeah. Cool. By the way, Halloween's in like 3 days. What are y'all gonna be? Or do you celebrate Halloween? I'm still trying to get my costume together, and it's a little stressful. I think Halloween is kind of like prom, where you like stress forever about what you're gonna wear, and then you wear it for a night, And then it's fun, but it's also just like a lot of stress. So yeah, let me know what you think. Okay. Halloween isn't big in Jamaica. Oh, okay. We're going to be a broke college student for Halloween. Is that like what does that look like? Um, how hard was the learning curve for coding for you? I think pretty. So one thing that I remember from college was that when I was taking the intro to computer science class, like the very first class that I took for computer science, I think I wasn't like paying attention in lecture or something, but I went to the labs to do a programming assignment, and I like called over one of the tutors and I was like, "Hey, how do I do this?" And they're like, "Okay, well, do you know how to use for loops?" And I was like, "No, what's a for loop?" And they're like, "You don't know what a for loop is?" And I was like, "No, I don't." So yeah, I kind of started there. I think coding was kind of hard for me, but once I figured out the tools for how to write programs, and it gets easier and easier. I also think like I've said before that logical reasoning is really important, and helps you to reason about what code you're going to write. And so coding is kind of like a natural language for me now, and before. So yeah. Thank you for your answer. I'll see what I can do. I'm thinking of learning code with a friend who's also into apps. Hopefully that would be beneficial. Yeah, that would be really fun. I like making something with another person. That's, I think, the most fun. What languages you are using mostly? I'm using Objective-C mostly right now. What have you been to any conferences this year? If so, what was your favorite? Yes, I went to a couple of conferences this year. I went to WWDC, which is the Worldwide Developers Conference, and that's hosted by Apple, and that's like the official Apple Developers Conference. There they reveal, I think that's the one where they reveal the new iOS version, I want to say, like iOS, tvOS, watchOS, and so therefore they reveal all these new frameworks that are coming out. And so there's a bunch of talks by Apple engineers about like the stuff that they're making and the stuff that's going to be released, as well as labs. So if you're stuck on something, while you're coding your iOS app, you can go and directly talk to the engineers there. That was really fun. I went to the Grace Hopper conference a couple weeks ago. That vlog is on my channel if you haven't seen it already. But the Grace Hopper conference is the world's largest conference for women in technology. And there's a bunch of talks, there's a career fair, there's nighttime social events, and this year there were 18,000 people, so that was really cool. I really liked both conferences. The WWDC conference was really fun because there's just so many iOS developers, and being in a room with all of them is like incredible, and also learning directly from Apple engineers for like all the new stuff that's coming out is really cool too. Yeah. That was fun. I learned a lot there. Grace Hopper Conference is really fun. I like going because it really energizes me every time I go. It just like the amount of people that are there, I'm always like amazed by. And so yeah, the talks are really great. The people, all like every single attendee at Grace Hopper is super kind, and it's one of the most like positive, most constructive conferences, just purely because of the people that go there, and I really like going. So hopefully I'll be able to go next year as well. Can you suggest a good game developing academy? Oh, I can't. I don't know any actually. So if you know of any, let me know down there in the comments. Would you like to start your own software business? Yeah, maybe one day. Not right now though. But that would be cool to do. Let's see. Wow, okay. By the way, a lot of like any repeat questions and stuff, I'm not answering again, but I believe the video will be live on my YouTube channel. I think, yeah, it will be. And so you can go back and watch and look for your answer. Maybe I can do a thing of like tagging the times with the questions so you can see through them easier. I like it when other YouTubers do that, so might do that. All right. Let's see. So I'm going to be on for another 10 minutes and then I'm going to head out. So just a quick time check. Big fan. What's your work schedule like? I know some places that allow you to work a pretty open schedule as long as you do your 8 hours. Yeah, I get a lot of comments on my like day in the life video. They're like, oh, you only work this many hours. But yeah, generally it's like 10 to 6-ish, depending on the train schedule. Like I'll get in at 10:30, sometimes leave at 5:30, or sometimes I'll get in at 10, leave at 6:30. It really depends. But more recently I've been trying to like wake up earlier, and so now it's been more like 9:30 to like 5 or 5:30. And yeah, some companies allow for a very like flex schedule. It depends on what hours work best for you. Some people are night owls, some people are morning people. And so yeah, some companies allow you to do that. But generally, because software engineering is very collaborative, I feel like having kind of like a common time for people to be able to gather and work on stuff together is important. And whether that be online or in person doesn't matter. But yeah. Okie dokie. What will my next video be about? Let's see. So I think I shot a collab with Joe Ma like a couple weeks ago about everything about internships. So everything about how to get them, why to do them, what you should do in them, just any advice and tips, and also just stories from our own experiences. So I think that one's going to be next. I'm also going to be doing another one about like interviewing sometime mid-November. I also want to do a video about boot camps. Just like intro you to what they are and what are some of the ones that I know of, what they do, what they teach you, what to expect. And I might do kind of like some fun ones too, honestly. I feel like my videos have kind of focused more on like what are things about software engineering, but I want to put more of like myself and my life a little more out there. So maybe like a what's in my backpack video, or like I don't know, something like that. If you have any suggestions, let me know. I want to do some more like fun content things. So, let's see. Yeah, video and interviewing. Yeah. Draw my life video. Oh, that could be interesting. Yeah, I'm not a very good drawer, but that doesn't stop people. Cool. Thoughts on data science? Data science is incredible. They say that the currency this day and age in technology is data. And so, yeah, very important. I don't know that much about, I don't really have any skills in doing data science things. I took one machine learning class in college, and that's about the extent that I know. But, data-driven decisions, data-driven features and stuff are a big thing nowadays. So yeah, those are my thoughts on data science. It's cool. How do you resolve the stressful situations work related? Great question. I think one thing that I am trying to actively do in stressful situations at work is to really think logically about the situation and really think objectively, but at the same time still keep a pulse on like how I'm feeling about everything. I think it's impossible for me to be robotic. I'm a person. I have feelings. But at the same time, like trying to resolve things democratically, especially if it's like amongst coworkers and stuff. I think communication is the best policy, and so if there's some awkward thing that's happening between you and another person, I really think like talking to that person and being honest about it is the most important thing. But I'm very like open to talking about my feelings at work, and so I'll say them, and I'm not afraid to. And I think just honesty is a good policy. If you're feeling stressed in terms of like there's too much work to do, then I like take breaks. I like go on walks. The other day I was like stressed after working or after coding for a while, so I just like cleaned out my desk to not think about coding for a little bit. And so I think it's important to take breaks and let yourself the time to just chill. So can't be working all the time. All right. Do I use Reddit? Sometimes. I used to use Reddit a lot more in college. Alright, 5 more minutes, people. 5 more minutes. And then hopefully I will schedule another one next month, maybe? Yeah. What's the longest you stayed up for a project? I stayed up 48 hours once for my compilers class in college. And that was like I stayed awake for 48 hours. I probably coded more for like 17 to 20 hours. That was grueling. That was the longest I'd ever stayed up, and I never want to do that again. And so I'm actively like trying to live a lifestyle, trying to communicate the fact that like that's something that I will never do for anything probably, unless, you know, maybe the time comes to do so. So we'll see. You watch my day in the life video on a regular basis. Oh, thanks. It's kind of interesting because my day in the life video is the very first video that I put out, but it's my most popular one, and I'm slightly kind of like, I'm not embarrassed by it, but I'm a little bit like, I feel like I would want to do this video again sometime, maybe in like a year. Maybe my day in the life has changed. It's already changed because I started doing more YouTube stuff, and that's kind of been like my side project. And so, yeah, maybe I'll make one like in a year. Maybe I'll do like a 1-year anniversary day in the life or something. We'll see. Let's see, average hours of sleep. I definitely need like 8 hours. Do I accept fan mail? Not yet. I don't, unfortunately. Should I get master after I finish college or find a job instead? Depends on what you want to do. I went for a job because I was like done with school. I didn't want to like study anymore, and I wanted to like use my skills to apply them to, you know, like building something for people. But, you know, I know a lot of people who go and get their masters because they really want to deepen their knowledge in a specific area of computer science or software engineering, like big data or like, you know, game engines or like human computer interaction. So it depends on what you're interested in, and just go with your gut. Let's see. Do you plan working abroad one day? Maybe. Maybe. It could be cool. I also want to just like go more abroad. I haven't gone abroad in a while. And so I feel like that's a start, visiting first and then deciding whether I want to work there. We'll see. Do you ever interact with UX designers? How's the experience? Yes, I do. I interact with UX designers, UI designers, researchers on a daily basis, and it's really fun. I really, really like working with designers because I think, just kind of tying back to my passion of like working on something that like people use. I love pairing with designers on brainstorming what are the ways that can make, you know, an interaction really cool and easy to use and what users need. And so, yeah, I like it a lot. It's fun. I've worked with awesome designers and I love them all, and it's great. Cool. Are you going to do a coding challenge? Maybe. What's a coding challenge? What are you thinking of when you think of a coding challenge? Like me doing a coding challenge, or I assign a coding challenge for everyone? Maybe. AMA and Reddit, that's a good idea. Then I can actually maybe answer a lot of these, considering how many people are in here. We'll see. Yeah. Would you be interested in an AMA on Reddit? I don't know. We'll see. Could you possibly do a video about interviews and what you need to know for interviews? Yeah. That's a video I'm working on right now, so look out for that. If there's any like quick questions that I can answer about interviews, I'd be happy to do so. What do you think about computer science? It's cool. Does experience really matter when you apply for a job? It can, unfortunately. I think it's funny that people are like, it's like an entry-level job, but you have to have 2 years of experience, which, yeah, those job, like, listings are stupid. But, yeah, I think there's different ways to also create experiences for yourself, like doing side projects, working on an app with a friend, like, you know, even just school projects and stuff. So, yeah. What's the last song I've listened to? I listened to Troye Sivan's album yesterday, and I think the song called For Him. I love that song. It's my jam right now. Am I doing any freelancer work? No, not right now, actually. To kind of going along with that, your free time hobby right now, it's YouTube. YouTube is, takes quite a bit of time to do, especially considering that I have a full-time job as well. So, all right. Let's see. Last question. I'm gonna find one last question to answer. Let's see. But yeah, I guess I definitely want to say like thank you all so much for joining in. There's been like at least 500 people in this live stream at a time, and that is incredible. And thank you all so much for the love, especially on all the videos. I want to pump out a lot more videos, to be able to answer all of your questions and hopefully help you along with your journey in computer science. So. All right. I still need to find a last question. How am I? That's a good question. I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. It's good. My life is good. Yesterday I sat back and I was like, I've been really busy for a long time, but all the things that I've been busy with have been things that I've been really wanting to do and all things that I'm very passionate about. So I felt very lucky and grateful that I can do the things that I do. So sweet. All right. Thank you again, everyone, for joining. And I'm going to make sure that this is live on my YouTube channel afterwards. But I hope you all have a great day no matter where you are. And thank you especially to those who have tuned in late at night. But I will hopefully announce another live stream and also come out with new videos soon. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter, helloMayuko, and also on Instagram, helloMayuko. Twitter for like my random musings. Instagram, I post a lot of stories on there about my day, which I will do more of. And so, yeah, thank you again so much, and hope you all have a great day. All right, bye.